A while back, I made a video and promised a list of my favorite books to read to preschoolers. That list has been a long time in coming, and I'm still working on it because I'm working on something else along with it that I'm very excited about, but not ready to reveal yet. But today's video is part of me fulfilling that promise. I'm going to share with you the authors that we have loved for preschool, and you can head to your local library. You can pick up as many books by these authors as you can find. We have loved every single book we have read from these authors, and let me dive in and share these with you. Hey there, I'm Sarah. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome again. I would love to meet you in the comments, so introduce yourself there. Let me get started because I have a huge stack of books here, and I want to share our excitement about these with you. The first author is one that I have not heard a lot about from different YouTubers, whether teachers or homeschoolers or book enthusiasts or anything. That is Miranda Paul. She is amazing, okay? I have two books from her on our shelves. The first one is called 9 Months, and it's about how a baby develops inside of the womb. This book provides amazing detailed illustrations of the actual size of a baby, what's going on, with a lyrical rhyming text. So it's very attractive to young kids who are curious about how they grew inside of the body, which is perfect for the preschool years. The second book is called Water is Water, and this is a book about the water cycle. We have loved this for years. Since my oldest was 3 years old, we have loved reading this book again and again and again. Perfect for explaining fog and clouds and rain and snow and slush and all of those kind of things. Okay, a more famous, well-known author is Richard Scarry, and he has a ton of books. Some of them are kind of actually spin-offs of him, but we love the ones that originally came from him. Richard Scarry's I Am a Bunny is one example of a shorter board book type of book. He also has some little golden books, such as, I think it's the Sleepy Time book. It's about a bear, Good Night Little Bear, something like that. That's a favorite as well. What Do People Do All Day is also a classic. Yeah, you want to read these books? Okay. What Do People Do All Day is also a classic that we have reread many times. Another one, Shirley Hughes. So Shirley Hughes came on my radar because of Simply Charlotte Mason. We are not a Charlotte Mason family exactly. We are not a classical family exactly. I just like to get good book recommendations from Simply Charlotte Mason. And Shirley Hughes has a variety of children's books. Here I have an example of a storybook chapter book. It has 3 stories in it that my boys love. It has lots of good illustrations, and so that helps to keep their interest, but she just has a great writing style and is very relatable for young kids. Some other examples of hers are her nursery tales, nursery stories series. This is one of those books, and it goes through a lot of different vocabulary and topics that are common to the preschool years. This is also kind of a vocabulary-based book. It's called Let's Join In, a first book of bedtime stories. She has other books of poetry and nursery rhymes. Her illustrations are amazing. They are kind of dated. They're kind of 1990s clothing, 1980s clothing, but my boys have never commented about that. I've enjoyed reading them. One of her more famous series is her Alfie series, and Alfie Gets In First is one of my son's absolute favorites, as well as An Evening at Alfie's. It's just such a cute adventure, and my boys can relate to it so well. Okay, another author is Atanuke. So Atanuke is famous for her book Anna Hibiscus, which I also have right here, which we also loved reading. It's a little bit longer for a preschooler to sit through, so we did read this with my kindergartner, but she has some books that are more appropriate for preschoolers. Baby Goes to Market, and B is for Baby. Okay, I love these. I love these as a parent. They're very cute, very funny. My boys love them. Okay, next one, James Mayhew. He wrote the Katie art series that I have made a video about and will link in the description box below. He also has a book called Once Upon a Tune that explains the stories behind lots of different famous musical compositions, such as Peter and the Wolf, In the Hall of the Mountain King. What else? He just does an amazing job of taking classical pieces of art and music and making them so understandable to young kids. And because of the Katie Art series, more than pretty much anything else that we've ever done with art, my boys are able to recognize paintings by Van Gogh. They know the name of the painting Noon. They know the name of Starry Night. And I just think it's an amazing teaching tool. Whether you want to use it as a specifically homeschool resource or not, it's just really nice for exposing little kids to classical pieces of art. You can hear my little girl in the background. She is chomping down on some crackers and just very enthusiastic about it. Yeah. Okay, Jerry Pinkney. Jerry Pinkney has illustrated many books, but he's also written some books and illustrated them. The Little Red Hen is one of my favorites. He also has The Three Billy Goats Gruff, and I think several other classic fairy tales and fables. And his illustration style is just very detailed. Again, it's very colorful. What I like about the way that he wrote The Little Red Hen is that he put the names of the various characters in different colored fonts. So when you're reading it, you can actually change your voice very easily because of the cues that are there in the text. That's a great one. Okay, Jan Brett. I grew up with Jan Brett, and her artwork is amazing. What makes her book stand out to me is that she not only has the main storyline images in the text, but she also has side tales, so giving you a behind-the-scenes glimpse of what's going on in this story, so you can explain maybe different details and like what happened, or just get a preview of what is coming. I love her Nutcracker book, which is actually a more recent publication, and also her Gingerbread Baby book. This one actually comes with a lift a flap at the end that my boys always anticipate when we're reading this book. It's so beautiful. And I love her style of illustration where she's taking from very cultural, traditional cultures within Europe and other places, and just illustrating according to that kind of style. It's just really nice and refreshing. Okay, Mo Willems, you know Elephant and Piggy probably, and the Pigeon books. I actually have not read the Pigeon books, so I can't like wholeheartedly just say go out and get anything by Mo Willems from your library, but we love this series. We have all 5 book collections. I highly recommend these Elephant and Piggy books because they provide lots of good discussion starters, and one of the books that we love as we live overseas is called I Really Like Slop. It has provided us with a good lesson in trying new things, and even if we don't like them, just being polite because someone wants to share with us something that they really enjoy. Okay, more on the science side is Kate Messner. These are appropriate for preschool. They're also appropriate for a little older. I will say that her illustration style is not my favorite. Maybe I'm a little picky, but I do love the idea and concept of these books. And there are so many in the series. I'm pretty sure that most libraries should have these books, but we have some examples here of rainforest, canyon, the dirt, so like in the garden, the pond, and the snow. And so it just provides a glimpse of like what's above the ground, what's below the ground, what's going on, different types of animals that live in that habitat, etc. Okay, this is a recent discovery as well, and I only know of 3 books by this author, but Chris Butterworth. He does a great job in this series of explaining how things are made or where they come from. Where did my clothes come from? We also have the book, Where Did the Food in My Lunchbox Come From? And then there is another book, How Does My House Work? And it just explains electricity and maybe gas. I haven't read that one yet. But these are just awesome for answering those preschool questions, those kindergarten questions about how does this work? Why, Mom? Okay, another favorite, this is actually a publishing company, but I think that the same author is behind most of the books because it's a small publishing company. We have the Kingdom of God Bible Storybook, and it comes in 2 different volumes, Old Testament, and there's New Testament. And then we also have the Parables of Jesus from the same publisher. We love these books because not only are they beautiful and well made, but they're also very biblically accurate and provide lots of detail. We also have their books, Little Pilgrim's Big Journey, and then Little Pilgrim's Big Journey Part 2. There is a Part 3 we haven't read yet, but everything from this publishing company that I have read so far has been really awesome. These probably won't be at your local library, but you could request them, and they're also great just to have on your own shelves. I don't know how many times we've read through these already and just loved them. The publishing company is called Lithos Kids, or Lithos Kids, and Tyler Van Hulteren is the author of most of these books. Another one, Suzanne Strasser. This is a more recent discovery for me, but I think that she's been around for a while. As you can see, this title is in Portuguese, but she has multiple books that are in English. I think they might have been originally written in German. I'm not quite sure, but she does a beautiful job with her stories. There's usually a process of elimination or addition in the stories with different characters, what they do. My boys have enjoyed just the predictability in a way and the surprise that is in the stories, and her illustration style is just very simple and straightforward. Also, her characters often include animals, and that's just a fun thing for preschool ages. So, Suzanne Strasser. Tommy De Paola. He has several books that are in many different preschool programs. Now One Foot, Now the Other, and Nana Upstairs, Nana Downstairs. He also has some Bible stories and Strega Nona stories, and they're all really delightful, at least the ones that I've read. Stephen Kellogg. I grew up with the book Jimmy and the Boa Constrictor. This is a retelling of Chicken Little by Stephen Kellogg. He also is a great illustrator to work with other authors, and so this book, Is Your Mama a Llama, is illustrated by him. Dr. Seuss. I know there's some controversy over Dr. Seuss based on his different depictions of culture and people groups, but some books that I really have enjoyed reading with my preschoolers are the classics, Green Eggs and Ham, The Cat in the Hat, One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish, and Horton Hatches the Egg, which teaches a valuable lesson about faithfulness and keeping your word. Similar to Dr. Seuss, a little less controversial, I think, is P.D. Eastman, and he wrote Go Dog Go, Sam and the Firefly, and several other books. These are the examples that I have on hand. We love what we've read from Nancy Shaw. She has a lot of good books with very good rhymes, which is a key thing to be learning in the preschool years. Sheep in a Jeep is our favorite, but there's also a whole series of these sheep books. Did you know that Margaret Wise Brown is not only the author of Goodnight Moon, but multiple other books and poems, and they're very delightful. Some that we have are The Little Island, The Runaway Bunny, which is also very famous, and a book that is a poem, Sunshine and Snowballs. It's also called the Song for All Seasons, and these are all really age appropriate for preschoolers. Alexandra Day does beautiful illustrations, and her books are mostly wordless, so there's a lot of great storytelling that we can do ourselves and a lot of good questioning and discussion. Some of our favorite books by her are the Carl books. Carl's Birthday, Carl Goes Shopping, and Follow Carl are some of our absolute favorites. Misha Archer is a great illustrator. She's also an author of a few books, and we love this one by her. It inspires imagination and creativity and is very poetic. Wonder Walkers by Misha Archer won the Caldecott Honor book, and she has another award for her book, Daniel Finds a Poem. These are great books for introducing literary concepts to really young kids. Amy Krauss Rosenthal has beautiful books that just explore love for your child, but also life lessons. And this is one book that we picked up through playing preschool and continue to enjoy reading. Cookies, Bite-Sized Life Lessons, and then That's Me, Loving You is also one of the favorites on our shelves. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to pronounce her name, so forgive me if I mispronounce it, but Rose Ann Greenfield Tong wrote many books that feature a lot of different cultures and teach colors and shapes. Green as a Chili Pepper is one example. Oops, that's backwards. Red as a Dragon, a book of colors. Round as a Mooncake, a book of shapes. And Round as a Tortilla, another book of shapes. These are really fun ways to teach those concepts to this age group. Another great author to keep an eye on is Michael Bond. He wrote Paddington, for which he's probably most famous. He has a book, I believe it's a chapter book called The Bear Called Paddington, but there's also this Paddington Treasury with shorter stories in it that my boys have loved. And there's a movie that came out recently that they were very fascinated by because of this book. But the one that we have read most often is called The Tale of the Castle Mice. And this one is beautifully illustrated by Emily Sutton. And it's a story of a family of mice who have to leave their dollhouse home when it falls apart. And then they receive at the end an even better home that is newly refurbished and live their lives happily ever after. It's very sweet, very detailed and cute. Okay, that is all that I have for this video. If I think of more authors, I will try to make a follow-up video with just other authors that you should keep your eyes on. But I highly, heartily recommend these books and these authors just as a great resource for you to go to your library, look up that name of that author, get what you can from that author. Sometimes that's an easier way than actually looking up specific titles. So hopefully this video is helpful. If you are on the lookout for more preschool book recommendations, I will link videos right here for you, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao.